We cooking in Nacogdoches, Texas. Look at the steam coming out of that Dutch oven. We got a roast on. Another episode of Dutch Oven Cooking on the way. Hi guys, it's Blackie and welcome to another episode of Cooking with a Dutch Oven. Okay, this week I'm kind of like on a little vacation. I'm down at my good friend William Collins's knife shop here in Nacogdoches, Texas. And William and JJ, Fuel the Fires, are in there working on a knife that they're going to be debuting a little later. And what my little contribution to the group is, I'm cooking, okay? And so we're doing a roast. So let me bring you up to speed on what we've done thus far. We took our Dutch oven. I'm about to show you the Dutch oven cooking in a moment. But we took our Dutch oven, which I believe is a 12-inch Dutch oven. And we took this roast about this big, which we're going to show. And we put a little bit of oil in it, heated the Dutch oven up. Not quite the hard frying, but you know what I mean. It'll sear. And we put that hunk of meat in there and seared every side of it. This seals up the meat so it doesn't leak juices out so easily. Once it was seared on all sides, we pulled the Dutch off the heat, and then we dumped in a chopped yellow onion, one large chopped yellow onion. Now this landed in the oil, and we added a little additional oil, and it went to kind of frying those onions a little bit. It softens them up, and it brings their flavor out into that oil and into the pot. Okay. The next thing we did, once that had calmed down, we didn't fry them to done. We just fried them for, say, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So they'd release that flavor. That's what we were after. Then we put the meat back in the middle. We added some good steak marinade. We added water to it and a little bit more oil. So the total amount of oil added into it would probably be like 3-4 ounces total. And then we put about that much water into this 12-inch Dutch oven. This is very much a wet cooking method. So excuse me, now the meat's there, the onions in there. We have a little bit of pepper and a little bit of the pepperinis, the small in a jar, small green peppers added in that. Not really to make it hot, but just added that little vinegar kick a little bit in the meat and the final product. Then we added 2 dry packages of Hidden Valley Ranch dry packets of the ranch dressing into it. Okay? Stirred that all up. We put it on the fire. Now let me show you it and how we're cooking it on the fire. Okay, right here is the fire pit where I'm keeping fire burning to have a source to pull from of hot coals or burning logs. And then here is the actual setup where I've got the fire underneath it. I'm wanting predominantly coals, but that's gonna burn down, so you got to constantly keep adding in. Thus this over here to supply it. Sorry for the noise. And then I've got my Dutch oven hung up on a tripod right there. Now, how do you know that it is cooking? Well, when you put it in there, always put it a little bit low and have a little light flame underneath it. And when you start seeing steam coming out between the lip and the Dutch oven, there's little puffs of steam. That tells you you've reached cooking temperature. So it's brought it up to at least 200 something degrees or close to it. We're not wanting a hard boil, we're wanting a simmer, long simmer. This is gonna cook for 4 or 5 hours. So you see, I'm sitting in camp, so to speak, guarding this. This is one of the things that you would cook at an event where you're not gonna be going anywhere. You're here in camp, because this is a commitment to cook like this. It's very, very good, but it's long and slow. Low temp, long cooking time, okay? And let me show you what it looks like in the pot. Okay, I keep my heat kind of focused directly underneath it, and I'm using a chain here that allows me to drop up or down. Come in from this side, lift off the lid. All right, now come on. There we go. You can see there's the roast. You can see it's cooking really well. All right, I want to reposition the meat, trying to keep it roughly in the center. Now, I still got plenty of liquid. You don't want this to run dry. Put the lid back on it. Like that. Okay. There she goes. Okay, as you can see, there's just a little bit of low flame, and I've got this windbreak set up to keep that breeze from blowing the heat away from the pot. I want low and slow. So, how do you know when you need to add more heat? The telltale I'm looking for is those little wisps of steam coming out. If it's a steady whoosh, you're cooking too fast. Your water's going to run out. So you want it where it's just a little puff, puff, puff like that of steam coming out. That means you're staying right at that temperature, but not hard. See, that little short puff, puff, puff is what you're looking for. When you don't see any more puff, puff, puffs, you want to definitely check it, make sure you haven't run low on water. I'm ready now to add a little bit more water to this. And I may add a little bit more fire then. So if you got plenty of water, you're not going to burn it at the bottom because you got plenty of water, and you're repositioning about every 30 minutes. But what we're looking for is the indicator that we are cooking is those little puffs of steam. And you'll kind of learn that fast means cooking fast and slow puffs means cooking slow. We're cooking slow. Now we have a target of about 5 p.m. when we're planning on eating. So therefore at about 3:30 we will pull the meat out, check the meat, check it for doneness. It should be by then 90% done. If it's not, then we want to up the heat and get it a good hard rolling boil to bring that temp up. It's almost sous vide where you're keeping that meat in that warm liquid. And that's what's doing the cooking. That's the reason we reposition it to put the meat. Always make sure it's in that liquid. And it doesn't dry out on the top, so to speak, and the bottom is always in the same place. Always rotated about every 30 minutes. That's the idea. Okay, when it's time to pull it out, I'll bring you back. Okay, now we've cooked the meat till the meat is done. So now we're going to add the potatoes and carrots and some other seasonings to it. Let me show you what it looks like right now. See, it's kind of like a thick gravy now we're cutting up and putting potatoes into it. These small baby potatoes. We're taking the meat out and we're going to bring this up to a hard boil because the meat's done, and allow all these vegetables to cook with it and these juices. Then whenever they're done, we will put the meat back in, let it come down to a rest, and we'll be ready to eat. Really simple, just cutting potatoes in half, throw them in. The carrots we cut in half, make it a single bite-sized piece, so you don't have to gnaw on a carrot. And that's it. Now we're going to take slow, savory pot roast mix and add that in as a thickener. Make a gravy out of it. 2 of those. Oh no, he done sampled it, I can tell. You want to put some more of them pepperoncinis in here now?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Throw you off a piece of that.
Oh. Yeah, how tough is that?
That's good.
Hoorah!
That's good.
That's good. Okay, here we are at the finish. We have completed cooking. Woo! That's still rather warm there, Blackie. Not want to do that. What we had, oops, I get the big hoop for that. All right, she's nice and hot right there. I'll lay that down over there. Now what we've got right here is we've got the carrots and the potatoes. We pulled the meat out, and then we put the carrots and potatoes in there. We cut them into bite-sized pieces. There's some pepperonis in there for a little bit of spice. And then what we've done is we've taken the meat of the roast right here, and we've cut it up into edible-sized pieces. Now we're going to put that back in that hot broth and let it come back up to temp. Just like this. And that is how we're going to make big roast on a fire in a Dutch oven. If you like content like this, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. And there'll be more videos coming up later on. Till next time, guys, it's Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.